Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Mic Check. Yes, I know it's been a minute since we've had Mic Check, but we're motherfucking back. This is my solo podcast where I break down whatever hits my radar in the world of entertainment. We get into some comic shit, read a comic. We're going to talk about some pro wrestling stuff today. I'm your host. It's me. It's Mike. We got a massive show. Scream 7 drops tomorrow. By the time you're seeing this, it's probably already out. We're going to talk about all the drama behind that movie, the cast, people getting fired. Neve Campbell's back. Stu Macher's back. We're going to talk about the box office predictions. I got some final thoughts on the movie. Y'all know I'm a big Scream fan. So will this live up to the hype? Who the fuck knows? We're going to find out. We also got some MCU news. We got Brand New Day, Spider-Man news, Tombstone. We know he's in this movie. We also know now that he may be in some future projects, bringing Spider-Man back down to the street level, which I'm a big fan of. We got some Doctor Doom news, some news on characters being offed in the beginning of Doomsday. Also, we're on this road, this bumpy ass, shitty motherfucking road to WrestleMania, and we're going to talk about some of the speed bumps on the way there. And did you know Amazon spent $40 million on a Melania Trump movie? You think that's crazy? Stay tuned. We got a lot more to talk about. Welcome to Mic Check. What's up, everybody? Appreciate y'all checking in. And I apologize. We've been gone for a couple weeks, but I've been making some upgrades here to the studio. We are going to be back now every single week. Mic Check, talking about whatever the fuck we want. Really shit that hits my radar. So those of you that hop on the live know I'm a big J. Cole fan. J. Cole's potential last album came out a few weeks ago, The Fall Off. I'm loving it. Fall Off tour tickets went on sale this past week. I just got my tickets to the Boston show. I'm looking forward to that. I did see this past week that Cole sold 300,000 copies first week of this album. So nice congrats on the success there. I'm loving it. This is probably the only, I was talking to my friend today, and he said the same thing. This is the only album that I've listened to since it's come out. That's pretty much all that I've been playing when I do listen to music. So I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I would say it's the best album in his career, but it's a hell of a fucking album, and I'm looking forward to going to the tour. So the thing about Cole, though, there's good Cole and there's bad Cole, okay? Some of you are video game fans, Mortal Kombat. I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy. Mortal Kombat is one of those games that's phenomenal, but like a lot of video games that turn into movies, they're always not motherfucking great. I am a big fan of the first Mortal Kombat movie, the one from the 90s. The second one, Annihilation, I'm not a fan of. They did a reboot, what was it, 2021? I wasn't crazy about the movie. The thing I hated the most about it, speaking of Cole, was the character Cole that they created for the movie. I thought he was bland and boring. I just don't know why, when you have a universe like Mortal Kombat with all of those characters, why the fuck would you need to create a character, a boring ass character for that movie? I don't get it. That's probably my least favorite thing about that movie. Also, the fact that we had a Mortal Kombat movie and we did not get a Mortal Kombat tournament. So there's a new Mortal Kombat movie coming out May 8th, Mortal Kombat 2. We talked about this here a little bit. There's a new trailer that dropped today, and I saw this, and I'll be honest, I was totally against Karl Urban as Johnny Cage when he was announced. Even when I saw the first teaser, it still feels a little odd. We got to see more of him in this trailer. I guess, I mean, I got no fucking choice because they're not going to recast him. He is going to be Johnny Cage. And we've seen this trend in Hollywood lately. Like, you got Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards, looks nothing like Reed Richards. The girl from The Last of Us, I forget her name at the moment, but plays Ellie, looks nothing like Ellie. Funny enough, Pedro Pascal's in that, and he actually does somewhat resemble Joel. He definitely embodies a character. But we've seen shit like this in a lot of movies. So having Karl Urban play Johnny Cage, yeah, look is off. I like that with Karl Urban, it allows them to have an older Johnny Cage. So we're kind of seeing that washed up ex movie star version, old movie star. 'Cause in the beginning of the trailer, he's sitting at a like a Comic-Con signing booth and shit. I will say this trailer that we saw today has a much different tone than the first few. It reminded me not and it when I say this trailer, just know that I don't mean as extreme, but it reminded me a little bit of the Street Fighter trailer that we saw a few months back, where it felt more animated. It felt more not comedy, but it felt like a video game. So this latest trailer has me more excited for this movie. It seems like there's a vast difference in this tone than there was in the tone of the first couple teaser trailers that we saw. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means, the reason they pushed it back was maybe to tighten up this movie a little bit. Maybe they wanted to change the tone somewhat. Who the fuck knows? But it does drop May 8th. I did see this trailer. Let me know what you guys thought of it. And actually, before we move on, subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, share it with somebody. The other thing that was announced this week or confirmed was the release date for Marvel's Wolverine PS5 game. The Insomniac, the makers of Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, all for PlayStation. This game looks amazing. We've seen some gameplay leaked. This is the one that got hacked. It's like, bro, how the fuck does somebody hack your video game files like that? That was crazy. They were all over the internet, all over X, like they say. But I'm looking forward to this game, September 15th. The teaser was like, it wasn't even a teaser. It literally was an announcement video that had Wolverine and had the date. So we didn't get a new look at anything, but I know a bunch of y'all are gamers. So what do y'all think about this Wolverine game? Who is fucking hyped to get in this Wolverine suit and claw some motherfuckers up on PlayStation? It looks brutal. Reminds me somewhat of the old X-Men Origins. I think it was a PS3 game. Graphic, bloody, fun, third person. Well, it loosely followed the movie. Shitty. Well, at the time the graphics were cool, but now the shit we've seen for this game, night and day. So I am looking forward to that. Speaking of movies, though, I actually went to the movie. I was saying this a few weeks ago. I was like, damn, man, I haven't been to the movies in a minute. I like going to the movies. We're actually going this weekend to see Scream 7, which we'll talk about in a minute. But on Valentine's Day, I told y'all this on the other podcast. Me and my wife went to see Wuthering Heights. And we're going to play a little game real quick here of what the fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I pulled up the scores for this movie. And I saw it. I don't know if y'all did. Let me know if you did. I'll tell you what, it was a good movie. It was a love story. It was a freaky movie. So if y'all are married out there, it's probably a good idea to go to this movie with your spouse. If she wants to see it, fucking go see it. But I enjoyed it. It was shot really well. I like the way I saw in a lot of the reviews, the way it was stylized. It was it just had a very distinct, cool, even though it's an older movie, it takes place in the 18th century. I guess the best way to describe it, it reminds me a little bit of how the Gatsby movie felt, The Great Gatsby, where you got an old time, but they make it look modern and cool and very stylized. Definitely like extra saturation. Some colors really pop. Seeing very artistic scenes. Like, it was directed really well. I really enjoyed that. But anyways, let's talk about the scores. So the critic score for this movie, this is on 312 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, 58%. The audience score, this is on over 1,000 verified ratings, 77%. So I would say, in my opinion, the way this works is I have to pick the one that's closest. I have to go with that. And I would go with the audience score. I think 77 is closer to the real score than 58. I don't know what I'd give it. I definitely wouldn't give it a 77, but I wouldn't drop it as low as 58. I enjoyed it. I probably would give it a 7, honestly. So let me know if anyone's out there has seen that. I guess the movie did pretty well, so somebody went to fucking see it. A movie that a lot of people did not go to see is the movie Melania. This is I thought this was a joke when I saw this was released. It came out about 3 weeks ago, and it did so far as of a couple days ago is at 16 million total gross. So did not do that well. Opening weekend did like 7 million. The budget for this movie, so here's the crazy, this is why I brought it up. This is some crazy shit. 40 million for the rights, cost 35 million to market. So 75 million. Okay. It was directed by Brett Ratner, the motherfucker who directed the X-Men X3. He also directed, who the fuck did he direct? He directed X3 and I don't know, it was some series of movies, but he's a well-known director. He directed this. It was revolved around Melania's life as the first lady in the 20 days before her husband's second presidential inauguration. It's like a documentary type shit. But here's the funny thing. It was pitched by her to Jeff Bezos at a dinner in Mar-a-Lago, or it was pitched to Mark Beckman, her senior advisor and manager after the 2024 election. So who the fuck knows? But she pitched it, and a bunch of companies were bidding for this motherfucker. This is the crazy thing. Like, people who actually thought it was going to be a hit. Amazon, Disney, Netflix, Paramount all bid for the streaming rights. Disney offered about 14 million, but Amazon came in with 40 mil and fucking licensed it, produced it. It was actually the highest paid price to produce a documentary, period. So anyways, I haven't seen it. I have no intentions on seeing it. They also paid Melania 28 million, so she fucking made out. This is just crazy. I wonder if like they just felt like they couldn't say no because it's the damn president's wife. Now, Rotten Tomatoes critic score for this motherfucking movie was 11%, and the audience score was 98. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with that difference in score, with that separation on Rotten Tomatoes. We play this game a lot. What the fuck, Rotten? I've never seen that shit. I can't comment because I haven't seen it, but I'd probably go with the 11, you know? So she also, I guess she posted something. It was a picture with her in front of a dress that she wore at the inaugural ball in 2025. That's not the important part. I guess it was donated to the Smithsonian, Natural Museum, America's History, the First Lady's collection, whatever. The funny thing is, in her video, she used a Bad Bunny song, which is just funny because of all this shit they gave the halftime show. By the way, I know we talked about it on Only Comics, but when I really first started talking about this Bad Bunny stuff in the Super Bowl was on Mic Check. And I just got to say, I loved the performance. I thought it was great. Here, the funny part is of her saying or using that song was Trump went on True Social and said this about the halftime show. He said, "It was absolutely terrible, one of the worst. It makes no sense. It doesn't represent our standards, success, creativity, excellence, all this crazy shit. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children." Bro, the type of shit that y'all are accused to be doing with small children, not accused. We've seen photos, emails, redacted ones. You worried about the dancing? The fuck out of here. Nobody understood. A lot of people understood him, bro. Just because you only speak one language, a lot of motherfuckers speak multiple languages, and a lot of motherfuckers speak Spanish. I just thought it was funny that she picked the song. Someone did. I don't know if that's just like being kind of like facetious, like I'll fucking use this song and put out this shitty picture. But anyway, let's get into some comic stuff. Read a comic. Dr. Doom. You see him behind me. There's all kinds of rumors about what he's going to do in Doomsday. The big rumor this week is Toby and Hugh are dying in the beginning of Doomsday. I don't know if that has anything to do with Doom. Maybe it does. Maybe it's at an incursion. Who the fuck knows? But someone that Doom is rumored to also be whacking, as they say in the mob, Loki. So there was a post shared by My Time to Shine Hello on Twitter. In Avengers Doomsday, Doctor Doom kills everyone at the TVA, including Loki. Now, Marvel hasn't confirmed this, but sounds like something that would make sense. The TVA's fucking around, pruning timeline. Maybe the TVA pruned one of his, or maybe the TVA did something to cause an incursion. Or maybe he's trying to get Loki's power. Maybe he's tired of these motherfuckers running time. I do think Loki could play the role of a Molecule Man if y'all have read Secret Wars. If not, I hope y'all are on the road to Secret Wars with me. We just got through Civil War, getting into Secret Invasion soon, World War Hulk, that type shit. But I think Loki, with the power sitting at the center of time, I think he could play the role of Molecule Man in that, or a Beyonder, or the Beyonder. Doom gets his power. That could be a way for him to turn into God Emperor Doom. So, yeah, this also kind of ties into an earlier report in Doomsday, or about Doomsday, that says Thor and Steve Rogers on a separate mission connected to Loki. They're kind of on a side quest to find Loki in the TVA. Their mission unfolds alongside the main conflict. And the other thing that was rumored, is that Thor and Steve are already on the Fantastic Four ship along with Doctor Doom before it reaches the MCU. So all kinds of shit. But the one about Hugh and Toby dying early on, I think that would be a hell of a way to start off this movie, and it would show everybody that nobody's safe. So I'd be down with that. Loki dying, Doom getting his power, I'm down with that. Speaking of villains, there was a time when Marvel had the reputation of having bad villains, having a villain problem, like they say. Loki was great. Killmonger was great. And you had people like Malekith. We just watched Thor Dark World. Fucking an atrocity. Red Skull was pretty good. You had the villains in the Ant-Man movie. What was it? Darren, the first one. Ghost, the second. Somebody. I can't. They're hard to remember. If they're not memorable, then they were a bad villain. Then we've had some good ones. I mean, you had Vulture. Obviously, Thanos is one of the top. Then you had some shitty ones, the leader. So they've been all over. But Doom, I think I don't know that there's anything that would shock me more than if they fumbled Doom. Like I don't think that with MCU's track record and how they've taken some obscure and basic characters and made them look amazing, I don't think they could fuck Doom up. I really don't. So I think Doom will be a good villain. Spider-Man's got he's got the best rogue gallery in Marvel. And out of all of comics, him and Batman are up top. Tombstone is a Spider-Man villain that we've seen in Brand New Day. I mean, not Brand New Day. We're going to see in Brand New Day. We've seen in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. He is going to be featured in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But the recent rumor is that he will actually be an overarching villain throughout the Spider-Man trilogy, which means he's one of the few, if that's true, he'll be one of the few villains to appear in more than one project. You had Loki, Thanos. I'm struggling to even think of anyone else that's been in multiple MCU projects as the villain. Villains are usually one-off. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, drop me in the comments if you know, but Loki and Thanos are fucking Ironmonger was killed off in one. Red Skull was killed off. You know, he showed up in Infinity War. Yeah, but he wasn't the villain. Winter Soldier, he I guess you could argue Civil War somewhat, but even then he flip flop. Abomination never really showed. I mean, really, I don't know of any other. Thanos was in multiple movies, and Loki was as a villain. So, Tombstone's rumored to be that character for this Spider-Man trilogy. I like it because Tombstone is a street villain, and I'm gonna do a little mini dive into Tombstone real quick. This character, Lonnie Lincoln. He was born with albinism. He's albino. This is key to his origin. He's albino, so he was an outcast. He was bullied as a kid. Grew up in Harlem. When he got older, he actually filed his teeth into sharp like razor points to make himself look more scary. He didn't have any powers in the beginning. He was a street guy. He was a kind of a boss in the street. He's got a personal connection to a Daily Bugle editor, Joe Robertson. Robbie. We've seen Robbie in the original trilogy. They went to high school together. Lonnie was a bully. Robbie was the golden boy. He was a journalist. Robbie discovered that Lonnie was running some like mob shit, like protection. He was I guess extortion. He was selling protection in school. And Ronnie knew about it, but he didn't run the story because he was afraid of him. And then Robbie carried the guilt of not saying something and potentially stopping Lonnie. As a kid, Lonnie rose to power for decades. So you got that rivalry there. Will that happen in this movie? Who knows? The other thing about Tombstone is he ain't just a guy in the suit. He didn't have powers initially, but he got some powers. So first of all, he's a big ass dude. He's 6'7". He's a street fighter. We talked about him filing his teeth. He would whisper really low. So you have to lean in, and then he'd fucking pop you. In the comics, he fights Robbie at Oscorp chemical plant and falls into a vat of gas on some Joker type shit, right? His skin then becomes diamond hard. So he's on some like Luke Cage type shit. He's bulletproof, fireproof. He can lift about 6 tons. So pretty strong. He is resistant to extreme cold and heat. So yes, he's got powers, but grounded type of character with powers. We've seen Spider-Man fight Vulture, who's kind of a grounded character with some mechanical shit. We've seen him fight Mysterio, who's more of a psychological, kind of reality manipulating villain. And then we saw Goblin, Doc Ock, and the OG crews. But Tombstone's the guy who can, dude, he can give Spidey a run for his money when it comes to putting his hands on him. I mean, he's gonna rough Spider-Man up. He's gonna fuck him up. Tombstone in some comics also has a daughter who becomes the supervillain, the Beetle. So they down the road they could always introduce her. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to this. I thought they did a decent job with Tombstone, even though they changed his origin a bit. He was an albino, but he was. You kind of see him give up his school life for the street life in that show, and I thought they did a good job with that. Speaking of having Tombstone in this, the Hand is also supposed to be in this movie, The Brand New Day, or Spider-Man Brand New Day. We've seen the Hand in the Netflix Daredevil show. So this definitely leans into the rumors that we're going to see some type of crossover at some point between Spider-Man and Daredevil. I think we should. There was a rumor recently about a Devil's Reign movie. I'd be psyched for that. Daredevil season 3 is in production right now. Born Again. So we've seen one. Season 2 drops in about a month, the end of March. The director, Dario Scardapane, he took over season 1. Season 1 was, I don't know who was directing at the time, but they kind of rehauled the show midway through. Dario takes over, fixed the show that wasn't working at the time, I guess. I thought he delivered a great season. Season 1 was really good. Season 2, he just confirmed that season 2 is going to wrap up the Mayor Wilson Fisk story. And season 3 is going to be a lot different. That drops in 2027. So we're in back to back this year and next year. This in season 1, Fisk's anti-vigilante task force we saw put together. Of course, they're being compared to ICE. And the director kind of he's eager to move on from the politics from that aspect of it. Now, I'm kind of torn. And this is what he said. He said, the anti-vigilante task force is part of the comics. We've built them and costumed them based on the comics. There are a few sequences that were shot a year ago that could be off of the news. It's all weirding us out. So it's kind of art imitating life here. He says, I have mixed feelings about the political energy. Stan Lee once said that he wanted to make comic books a reflection of the world you saw outside. Then I also believe that's what's fun about the genre. It's definitely fun in working with superheroes. You're dealing with huge archetypes, almost mythological characters, and that's fun writing. He says getting into the politics, it's fun too, but it becomes almost too topical, like going away from the other stuff. So I don't know. I think we tend to forget sometimes, and by we I mean like people that complain online, that comics have always been a reflection of the world around us. Comics have always had a somewhat of a social justice, political element to them. So I don't think it's crazy for what's happening in this show to imitate what's going on in the real world. I mean, we're reading Civil War right now. We just finished it up. That's a comic from 10, 15 years ago or more, probably 15. And seeing the Cape Killers, Shield's crew that they're going out hunting down superheroes, that even mirrors a lot of stuff that happens right now. So it's almost like I don't even feel like that's a thing. That's just part of comics. Like that's something that is going to be there inevitably. But he feels he's kind of torn on it. Someone else who's torn on something, James Gunn. He is talking about Lex Luthor. I think my man James is a little confused here. Now, I'm a big fan of the Superman movie. Dropped last summer. I thought we had a nice little summer of movies. We had Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps all within a couple weeks of each other. That's cool. We're going to get something similar to that later this year with Spider-Man Brand New Day and Supergirl all within the same, I think 4 or 5 weeks. Nicholas Hoult played a very, very good Lex Luthor. I thought his portrayal was spot on. I thought the character was written very well. I did feel like he was a villain. We talked about having a villain problem. They ain't have a villain problem in that movie. Now, James Gunn seems to think that Lex Luthor is not a villain. This was his take. He says, he tweeted something. He said, happy birthday to Lex Luthor, pretty much. Here's the important part. Who most definitely is not a villain, but instead a protector of Earth and humanity. And he goes on to say some stuff about he swears on Bibles, and he's going to be working with Superman and Man of Tomorrow, summer of 27, yada, yada, yada. think he may be misremembering his movie. Lex Luthor was all about letting some innocent people die. He was not a protector of Earth. He's splitting the Earth down the middle because he's over there fucking around in these pocket universes and trying to get rid of Superman. And I mean, he killed an innocent guy just to try to get Superman to give him some information. I think you need to revisit your movie and understand that he's a good villain, but he's definitely a fucking villain. He ain't no protector of Earth. I mean, maybe that's what he evolves to in this movie. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? A couple other movies that were being revisited on Twitter, on X, The Batman and The Dark Knight. Now, I've said this here on this podcast recently. Not on this one, on Only Comics. I've talked about this on the live. Y'all know I am a The Batman glazer. Robert Pattinson. I love the movie. I think he's a great Batman. I'm a huge Dark Knight fan. Great movie. But if I'm going The Batman versus The Dark Knight, now if I got these two movies going up against each other, I am looking at this from the perspective of what is the best Batman movie. I'm not comparing The Dark Knight to Inception or some shit like that. I'm comparing a Batman movie to a Batman movie. The Batman over The Dark Knight all day. The Dark Knight is an amazing movie. It's a Joker movie. Christian Bale is not an amazing Batman. He's a really fucking good Bruce Wayne. He's a kind of mid Batman. The Batman feels more like a Batman. It feels like a Batman comic on your screen. The Dark Knight feels like an amazing crime thriller, and it feels like a Joker showcase. Great, though. Heath Ledger stole the motherfucking show. But The Batman, that movie felt like I am watching a Long Halloween, a Hush type of story, a Dark Victory story unfold on the big screen. So I'm going Dark Knight. What do y'all think? They're talking about it on Twitter. It's YN is the one who posted this. I'm saying The Batman over The Dark Knight. We're on the road to motherfucking WrestleMania. I know we got a lot of wrestling fans. Are y'all been watching? I know Pause is watching. We do the lives Friday, and this is where I'm at with WWE right now. I do a live every Friday. SmackDown's on every Friday. I don't watch it. I remember like the first couple of lives I had it up and I would talk about it. It's been so mid to bad. There's no reason to even fucking watch right now. I tried watching Raw. I missed it this week, but I went back and checked it out, saw what happened. Gunther comes out. No, y'all know. If you watch it, you know what happened. Let's talk about the next steps with Gunther. First of all, let's backtrack. Gunther retired Goldberg. Okay, whatever. Retired John Cena. That's some bullshit. Retire AJ. That's some more bullshit. He's feuding with Dragon Lee. Y'all know what this looks like. Some of y'all were talking about this on the live. Some of you know what this looks like. This looks like Gunther, Dragon Lee. Something happens. He fucks him up, injures him, goes overboard, something. Then that leads to a Rey Mysterio Gunther match. I hope to motherfucking God that we are not going to see Gunther also retire Rey Mysterio. Goldberg, I was cool with. John Cena, I was not. AJ, I'm definitely not. Ray, I just don't get the allure behind this dude. Why are they pushing? I think he's solid, but they're giving him this is like giving a Brock Lesnar type push. This is like you're breaking the streak type of shit. You made John Cena tap out. That's like breaking the streak. I don't get it. The Vision is a group that I don't know if they ever really, really got firing on all cylinders. One of the issues is injuries. Seth got injured, torn rotator cuff during his match with Cody at Crown Jewel. He gave up the heavyweight championship. CM Punk has that now. Braun Breaker, he's been out of action. He had a serious hernia. Allegedly, that happened to him on February 2nd on Raw. So those two, they're rehabbing their asses off, according to Meltzer. And this Monday on Raw, fucking Big Bronson Reed tore his bicep. They said he would be out indefinitely. Supposedly, for this type of injury, it takes 3 to 6 months to heal. Who knows what his situation is? He was supposed to, allegedly, against this recording, I think Meltzer said this too, so his all could be bullshit. But supposedly he was supposed to win the match on Raw to get into the chamber. He wasn't going to win the chamber, but he was going to get in there. But because he got hurt, they pivoted, and Jey Uso won. That sucks. That's unfortunate. So right now, the men's elimination chamber has Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. Now that's 6. I don't know if they're adding anymore, but of these, who do you have win? I mean, Drew's got the belt. You're not going to do LA Knight against Drew at Mania. You're not going to do Jey Uso. You're not going to do Trick Williams. You're not going to do Javon Evans. They're not. Cody seems like the obvious choice. I don't know that. Do people really want to see that match, Cody versus Drew? Randy is probably the sleeper. Randy's probably the choice that the people like me are going for. I don't even know how to come about. I'm not a diehard because I don't watch everything. I'm not a casual. I'm like a casual diehard. I'm a casual diehard. I'm casual, but when I watch it, I'm a fucking diehard. I think my pick would be Randy, but my gut tells me it's going to be Cody. We'll see. And then Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came back. And dude, I don't even feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania. It just feels like AJ said this, and I don't know if it was a joke or I don't know why he said this, but he said that WrestleMania has lost its allure. It's just like a PLE now, regular PLE. That's a stretch that I was with you in the first half. It definitely lost its allure. WrestleMania last year didn't feel like WrestleMania the year before that. They're going back to Vegas this year. It's probably going to be the same kind of mid-ass crowd. And then going to Saudi next year. I mean, we saw the Royal Rumble felt like a bullshit-ass show. Like a house show. So, Scream 7. Y'all know I'm a big Scream glazer. I love the first movie. I love the franchise. I think is really good. I mean, shit, really good. I think it's the best horror movie franchise. People are like mad because I called it horror. It's a slasher. Motherfucker, go to Peacock right now and go look at genres and let me know when you find slasher. I'll fucking be here waiting. It's a fucking horror movie. It's a slasher. It's an elevated horror. It's a satire horror. Bitch, it's a fucking horror movie. Horror franchise. This movie's tracking. It's tracking for a really good debut, 45 to 50 million just in North America. That would deliver a series best kickoff if that happens. Paramount and Spyglass, they're the one. They basically revived this franchise about 10 years ago. In there's been a major revamp of the script that happened midway through that cost some money. So here's why. Those of you that seen Scream 6 know that, Jenna Ortega's in that, Melissa Barrera's in that. They were in 5 and 6. They were introduced in 5. They're sisters in the movie. In 5, it opens with what we think is going to be the traditional opening kill, but Jenna Ortega's character survives, and then her sister shows up, and yada yada yada. But in late 2023, Melissa Barrera, she was fired from Scream 7 because she posted something on social about Israel. She claimed, she accused them of genocide and ethnic cleansing. I mean, it doesn't sound that crazy. But due to that, she also made some comments about a magazine article, as well as in a magazine article, she alleged that the Israeli government was distorting the Holocaust to boost the Israeli arms industry. So, I mean, speaking now, I know people feel all kinds of ways about this. Like, it's not her place to speak out, yada, yada. Well, it's her fucking social media. She can post whatever the fuck she wants. She's also, I believe, movie stars, actors, or independent contractors. I'm not one, so I don't know, but I believe that's how that works. So she's not an employee. Contract could have some clauses in there that state what you can and cannot say. Sure, if you sign it, you agree to. I get it. But I think that's kind of fucked up to fire her for that. But it happened. Okay. So because of that, they got rid of her. And then Jen Ortega, she's kind of blown up since these movies. She announced that she wasn't going to return. She said scheduling conflicts with her Netflix series. Wednesday's popping off. There's 2 seasons already. And then the original director, Christopher Landon, he left because he was getting death threats over Barrera's firing, even though he didn't make the decision to boot her. Okay, so all that shit happens, 03. They're at a crossroads. They turn to the OG, Kevin Williamson. He wrote the first Scream movie. I think he produced or executive produced the others. Fact check that part. But I know he's been involved. Anyways, they bring him back. They actually bring him to direct this one. So he takes over directing, and then he and Guy Busick. So this dude Guy was a writer on the last 2, 5 and 6. These 2 write 7. So you got the guy who wrote the best Scream movie, period, Kevin Williamson. He's a guy that's been involved in this franchise the whole time. He's now directing. I don't know that he's directed any of the Scream movies yet. Him and this dude, Guy Busick, who wrote the last 2 Scream movies, they co-wrote the screenplay. So it sounds like, I guess, a recipe for success. And kind of the same thing I said about Doom earlier. I'd be shocked if they fucked this up. But it needed a serious reboot, retooling after Ortega and Barrera bounced. Because they were 2 of the main characters. Now, Neve Campbell, she was in Scream 5. She did not return for 6 because of I believe they didn't agree on the pay. I think she wanted more than they're willing to pay. So they're like, can't pay you that much. We got these 2 chicks. They were concerned about making the Scream movie without Neve Campbell because she's been, in all of them. She's the Jamie Lee Curtis of this franchise. And the movie did great, $161 million at the box office. So that was, for a Scream movie, did really good. Wasn't an issue not having her, but now not having the other 2 put them in this spot where they went back to the well. They went back to the golden girl herself, Neve Campbell. They brought her back, the OG. and they paid her more. Now, they gave her a $7 million deal. Here's the issue with the rewrites, though. The rewrites cost them $500,000 too. So this movie is fucking costing some money, dude. And now you're paying $7 million to get Neve Campbell back. Put in perspective, Courtney Cox, who's been in just about every other Scream movie since the OG, she got $2 million. So I'm assuming Nev's going to be the main character in this. This movie drops this week. Matter of fact, shit, as you're watching this, it's probably out. $45 million budget, even with the $7 million going in there, $45 million. So if they're tracking 40 million domestic opening right now and like a 60 million worldwide, I mean, that's just week one. If that's the case, this movie is going to make their money back and then some. What's going on in this movie? Sidney Prescott moves back, or actually moves to the quiet town of Pine Grove, Indiana. And of course, another ghost face pops off, this time targeting her daughter, Tatum. So it's not in New York City like Scream 6, and it's not back at their old stomping grounds either. So Neve Campbell's back. Isabel May plays Tatum Evans. Courtney Cox is back. Let's see, who else is back? Mindy from the last movie and Chad, they're back in this. David Arquette is confirmed to return as Dewey, even though he died in the 2022 film. Matthew Lillard plays Stu Macher. He is returning as well. So is Scott Foley, who plays Roman Bridger, the half-brother of Sidney Prescott. So they're all returning. I don't know if they're going to be actually in the movie on some fucking resurrection shit, or will they just be ghosts like we saw Billy the Ghost in the last two. I'm not a big fan of the ghost shit, but anyways. All right. It's award season. So the BAFTAs, it's a British award show. That was this past weekend, and there was some controversy there. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting the award for Best Visual Effects. So y'all should probably all know who Michael B. Jordan is. Delroy he was in the movie Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. That movie was nominated for a bunch of BAFTAs. I might even be saying that fucking wrong. I don't know. It's nominated for a record amount of Oscars, which we'll get into in a little bit. So Delroy was he was the drunk guy he was the musician. I think he played the fuck did he play? The older guy who they scooped up, and he was, again, the drunk musician. Y'all seen Sinners, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's not the point. The point is they had this individual, John Davidson. He is a activist for people with Tourette's. He has Tourette's. This shit's fucking crazy. Y'all know what Tourette's is. It's a neurological disorder where people, it makes you involuntarily have these movements or sounds called tics. There's some forms of Tourette's that have another aspect to it where it will make you involuntarily say socially acceptable words or phrases. So this guy, give you an example, in 2019, around Queen Elizabeth, he shouted, "Fuck the Queen." It's his tic, his Tourette. If any of y'all know people with Tourette's, or y'all probably know a lot more about this than I do, but I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it on social media. There's accounts of people that suffer from Tourette syndrome, and we've also seen it in movies as a comic relief type thing. But this dude, Davidson, was there at the awards because there's a movie based on him that I think was released last year, movie or documentary or something. Anyways, while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo are presenting, he starts shouting the N-word. Based off of the description of the syndrome here, it would, seem that this is the syndrome. It makes you have these tics where you shout the most offensive, horrible things she could say. So that's happening. Now, the issue that I have is not with that. The issue is, in order for them to hear this on screen, this guy had to be near a microphone, okay? They set, and this is what he said about this, they set a microphone up right in front of him, or they set him right in front of a microphone. He knew it was there. They knew he would tick. They knew he had Tourette's. He knew this. He thought initially he would not be heard from stage, but then he realized that was not true. He could be heard from stage. And then once he was shouting this out at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy, he decided to leave because, he obviously saw that they were upset and he knew, that it wouldn't be in his best interest to stay there. He says he has absolutely almost no ability to suppress his tics. It simply burst out like a gunshot. And at other times in the award ceremony, he could be heard, Davison could be heard saying, "Shut the fuck up and fuck you." Y'all might probably think I have Tourette's on Only Comics as much as I say those words. And he went on to say it had nothing to do with how he felt or, it was involuntary, yada, yada, yada. The bigger issue, though, is why the fuck would you sit someone like that? Let's say like that. I don't mean to. This guy has these tics. Why would you have him in this ceremony shouting these things while it's on TV at people while they're presenting? I don't know if that's the right setting. The big issue, though, was the way it was handled. The BAFTAs, from what I've read, they haven't even said anything. They haven't even really addressed this. And they hadn't said anything to Michael B. Jordan or Delroy about this, which Delroy said is he thought they would. The other thing was they had a 2-hour delay from the time that this recorded to the time it aired, and they did not edit out these tics. That's the fucking strange part. That's the part where I go, on so many fronts. Why is this dude sitting near the microphone? Why is he in a spot? Put him in a luxury box or something, somewhere where he can be part of the show, where he can have a nice view, but he's not shouting these things out over people. And then you had 2 hours, bro. You had 2 hours from the time you recorded this shit to air it, and you left that shit in. That's crazy. So, Oscar season. Oscars are coming up March 15th, literally a couple weeks away. The 98th Oscars. I've seen a handful of these movies that are up. There's a few that are up for a lot of awards. Sinners is one we talked about. We reviewed on Only Comics. That one, Sinners, has the record now for most nominations. 16 nominations, the movie Sinners. And then the number 2 movie with the second most nominations is 13 nominations for One Battle After Another. I've seen both of those. Few others on here. Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value all have 9 noms. Hamnet has 8. Begonia has 4. I saw that recently. F1, The Secret Agent, Train Dreams got 4. And then 2 nominees apiece. You have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and Surat. So, Sinners, 16. They're probably going to pick up some awards. But if you base the Oscars on the BAFTAs, well, hopefully no one's going to be shouting offensive fucking words at people as they're presenting at the Oscars. But based off of who won the most awards, it's not always, the same, but Sinners and Hamnet, they both, they won a couple. Sinners won for the best score. Hamnet won for original screenplay, as well as the supporting actress. But the one that won the Outstanding British Film, I'm sorry, the one that won the big awards was One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson's movie. It was the most awarded movie of the night, 6 total wins. Best film and director and adapted screenplay all went to this movie. Also, editing and then the supporting actor for Sean Penn, and cinematography beating out Sinners' cinematographer, who was kind of favored, I guess. So if we're following that path at all, then One Battle After Another might take that movie of the year. Top movie. We'll see. I saw that movie. I thought it was really good. Sinners was also really fucking good too. I don't know, movie of the year or whatever is it best movie? Oh, okay. I don't know. But also Sinners now has the record for most Oscar nominations. The previous record was Titanic, La La Land, and All About Eve with 14 nominations apiece. So shit, 16 noms, that's a hell of an achievement. But there's been some, I guess Oscar snubs too. I am shocked that The Rock was not nominated for The Smashing Machine playing Mark Kerr. I don't know if any of y'all have actually seen that. We talk about that. I've talked about that several times. I reviewed it here, but I feel like no one's fucking seen that. That's part of the problem, right? But he did not get nominated. I think that movie was nominated for best makeup or some shit like that. But no nom for DJ, unfortunately. So if I'm picking best movie, One Battle After Another, Sinners, I think I'm gonna. God, it's fucking hard. I think I'm gonna go with One Battle After Another. I think I'm gonna go with that. They both are great movies, but I think I would go with that one slightly. I wouldn't be mad though if Sinners won. So anyway, all right, we are gonna wrap up now. I got an old ass fucking I respond because I haven't done this podcast in a minute, but I'm only doing this so that y'all are encouraged to drop some comments so that we got some shit to talk about at the end of the show here. All right, let's see. OG Dirte said last Friday was Deadpool's birthday. Well, that was 2 months ago, so I'm a little late. So, happy belated birthday. Let's see. Captain Canada was talking about the Doomsday teaser. He said it looked AI, but obviously we know that it wasn't now. Man, these are old. John Von Von said, I'm obviously going to watch Wonder Man. MCU content, I'll take it all. Yeah, how did y'all feel about Wonder Man? I know there was a handful of y'all that started watching it but couldn't get through it. Did you ever fucking get through it? And then OG was talking about pointing out that Cap was old the last time we saw him. Yes, he was. I wish we would get an old man Cap like we did in that Avengers Infinity run, but who knows? And then OG said Avatar 2 sucks. Oh, and then we got Dr. Bankroll says, I'm new to the channel, love the vids, but wanted to bring something up. I like these solo episodes. They flow a lot better. Your boy is knowledgeable, literate, and funny. However, he seems to get caught up in the debate aspect. Yeah, well, listen, hey, guess what? You're going to have both. So I appreciate your view. I appreciate you sharing that. Appreciate you liking the channel. And then he says, I also don't know who to blame, but this last Cena run was a joke. I didn't hate the Cena run. I thought the ending was a little lame. I almost wish that they would have planned it for him to end at a WrestleMania. I think the ending on a Saturday night main event, it seemed like it started off cool and then it just fizzled out. So I wouldn't say it was a joke, but it wasn't great. I'll give you that. I liked the heel turn. I thought it was cool. It was just maybe too late. That's something that would have been fun a couple years ago. And you all know how I feel about the Gunther retiring him. That just fucking sucked. And then we got Ant Blend says the Nas Primo album is horrible. I can't finish most of the songs. Doesn't even compare to Hit Boy Run or the Prime Run. Now that I've had some time, I still say Horrible's a stretch, but I don't think I've listened to it since we talked about it, and that was 2 months ago. I have no desire to put it on. No desire. That's not good. I'm a huge Nas fan, and I love the Hit Boy run. Those 6 albums are great. Prime, phenomenal. The first Prime is one of my favorite albums of all time, period. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't live up to the hype. I'd say it's mid as fuck. Unfortunately, should have been a lot better. So, anyway, well, appreciate y'all watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop me some comments. Read a comment. Are y'all going to see Scream 7? The fuck do you think? You think this boycott's gonna hurt the movie at all? I don't think so. Sounds like it's gonna be a big box office for a Scream movie. And I'm torn. I'm not gonna boycott it over this. I do think it's fucked up. I do think the way they handled that was messed up. And I don't blame Jenna Ortega for leaving because and maybe that's not why she did it, but I don't blame her if that is the case. But I'm a Scream fan. I'm going to see this motherfucker, and I'll be talking about it here next week. So appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you next week right here on Mic Check.